Hello, Gaming Reviews here. Many of my Half-Life friends and fans have proposed me to make a review about Prospekt, a Half-Life 2 fan-made story that takes place right after the events of Nova Prospekt of the original game. You play as Adrian Shepard, who's removed from stasis and as such continues his journey into the Half-Life universe. Now before we start, I should mention that I am a developer for the Source engine myself, and I have studied the gameplay mechanics and the story of the Half-Life franchise for so many years. That means I'm very critical of any Half-Life related content that gets released, and that's especially the case with Prospekt, as it has a number of issues with its gameplay that you should really be aware of before buying the game. So let's check why exactly a true Half-Life fan might be disappointed with Prospekt. There are two things that you'll notice right away with the game, and that's the voice script and its annoying effect.
Shepard, huh? Welcome to the HCU, man. Tougher shit, same pay, but you get to play with some cool toys.
Now Prospekt continues the story of Adrian Shepard, the hero of the Opposing Force expansion from the original Half-Life series. During Prospekt you're being put back from stasis, and as such you'll hear flashbacks from his past that do sound a little bit different than the voice acting we're used to in the original Half-Life 2.
I wonder why they got us doing all this indoor shit though. Not that I'm complaining.
Maybe they're prepping us for your mom's house. Here, she's a feisty chick.
That's real funny, Davis. I hear the same thing about your wife.
But be careful what you say, man. When your ass is in trouble, I won't be saving you.
And it's not really convincing because of a few reasons. First, it's safe to say that it does sound a little bit immature. There's a lot of swearing that simply has no place in the Half-Life 2 universe, as well as some lines being delivered that really don't fit with the Half-Life 2 spirit.
He is facing a great challenge in a prison called Nova Prospekt. We need you to assist him in defeating the Combine in that area, so we can go.
I just felt that the overall voice acting disconnected the original Half-Life 2 experience from Prospekt in terms of story presentation. But what is possibly the worst of it all is that every single time a flashback comes in the game, there is this incredibly annoying effect that hinders visibility and makes combat near impossible.
How long is this speech gonna take? It takes so long. What? Oh, I couldn't even see them!
Also, the combat is the biggest letdown of Prospekt. There are three major reasons why the gameplay is simply bad. First off, the game is too damn hard. I couldn't count how many times I double barrel shot a Combine from point blank range in the head 2 times before he had to die. Does that make sense to you? They all have ridiculous amounts of health and armor. It's almost unreal. And what's funny is you can clearly see that the developer himself realized how hard the game was, as the abundance of health and armor replenishers that appear later in the game is almost unbelievable. Never would a Combine facility be filled with so many health and armor replenishers. It just makes no sense, and they're simply there to ensure that the missions do not become impossible to complete. Secondly, the level design is ludicrous. The developer abused a little bit too much the same principle where after every closed door, as soon as it opens halfway, you have tons of gunfire coming your way from enemies that you can't even see yet, all appearing right into your body, and there's nothing you can do about it as there is zero cover.
No, please don't. And here we go again, another wave of enemies. Where is the cover? Where do I cover? But what?
This is completely against the principles of Half-Life, and it is simply a bad design decision. How are we supposed to fight 25 versus 1, 10 versus 1, and there is no cover? If it wasn't bad enough, 99% of all the objectives in the game are pressing buttons. Buttons, 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 and buttons. I just don't understand how the developer could not have seen this coming. The amount of repetitiveness between arena battles and waves of combines with buttons is something that I have never seen in any of my Half-Life experiences. It just shows that the difficulty spikes have not been balanced and that the level design has favored pretty graphics over its functionality and player guidance. However, it's not all bad. I think the best thing that I could say about the game is that it has its concept well executed, where you have the same situation as in Crysis and Crysis Warhead, where you get to see the same universe and levels from a different perspective and experience. I do have to give credits for the soundtrack, which I thought was really close to the original Half-Life 2 music.
Come on, man. Okay, take this. Ha! That was cool. Come on, let's do it. Oh, another one. Let's do it. Only one?
It has that same action and the same drive that wants to keep you moving forward in the middle of the gunfights. Also, I have to applaud the additional combined machinery and the improved graphics, as it did really help to make feel as if Prospekt is part of the actual Half-Life universe, which is really hard to achieve. A lot of great particle effects and the improved reflections were a welcome breath of fresh air. However, that's all I could truly recommend the game for. The Xen levels, while being a clever addition and a cool comeback, were completely underused and could be run through in under 3 minutes. On top of that, I did run into a few funny AI glitches.
I'm standing over there, it's wow, I've never seen this. Cool. Well, wondering, is it gonna attack me if I attack him? Let's see. Oh, I can actually hit him in the foot. That's fun. Oh no, apparently. Oh yeah, I can, okay. Can I hit him in the hand? No. Can't hit him in the hand. Oh, let's see. In the butt. The butt. Come on, man. In the butt. Let's see how many times it takes in the butt. Oh.
But ultimately, it's bad gameplay and level design with the overzealous amount of bullet sponge combines is what really kills it for me. Literally, as I had died over 100 times during my play experience, where I even had to reload a previous section, a previous save, because I had ran out of ammo or health kits because the combine were so overpowered. Lastly, the story is unsatisfying and is partially a carbon copy of the beginning sequence, but with a little different execution. Just know that the game focuses heavily on combat and not on a comprehensive story. When I think about the concept and how well it could have worked out if the developer had considered more player guidance, added at least a little bit of sensible difficulty progression, made a bit more cover, and improved the level design, then it would have landed on an 8 out of 10. Unfortunately, the game is also 2 hours long.
2 hours long.
Instead, at the current price of 9.99 euros, I will give it a 6 out of 10. But honestly said, it would have been even lower if the game wasn't designed by one person. It's just sad that the game shows there was little input from other players or developers to warn about some of its really obvious shortcomings. However, the concept is really cool and I want to see more from this developer in the future, because behind all its faults, you can see where his talents are shining through. And everything considered, for a one-man project, this wasn't all that bad. Next time, however, I would suggest him to work with a few extra people to ensure that there are no spot-on gameplay problems that could have easily been avoided. So in short, if you've never played any of the Half-Life experiences, which I really suggest you do because they are one of the best games ever made, then Prospekt will be brutally hard for you. Especially if you don't know how to trick the AI into going to stand on some spots and all that stuff, which becomes much easier if you already have experience with some Source games. But other than that, you could pick it up and have some really cool and tense moments with it if you look behind all of its faults and if you can't stand a little bit of frustration. This was Gaming Reviews, and I will see you in the next review.